All right, let's clean this whole thing up a little bit. This looks like a disaster. Actually, before we clean this up, let's do just some quick recap on yesterday's trades. So I was in a short. Oops. Entered a short right around here. Actually, is that where I entered a short? Or did I enter that short? Yeah, that is where I entered the short. All right, so I shorted it down from here. I was driving at the time, so by the time the trade actually came through, I closed it out a bit early for short scalp. Waited for the market to kind of shake out. Once it came down to here, I entered a long based on this area of liquidity. Basically, we tapped it down into this right here, then rejected up, started coming up. My target was going to be up here, these 5100s. Later, I changed the target to 5120 just based on this 4 hour, or sorry, this 1 hour gap coming up. Eventually, it played out, but not before taking out this lower liquidity level right here. So I was happy to close out the day with $130 in profit. Had I held it, maybe it could have been $300, maybe $300 or $400. But I wasn't willing to just sit here and watch the trade all day. Maybe I could have entered lower down here, but point is, kind of learning a little bit more about the liquidity and levels that'll come down to grab overnight, or if it doesn't come down overnight to grab these levels of liquidity, then it kind of tends to during the New York session, if not prior to that. So anyway, that's yesterday's trade recap. Today, we can kind of bring all these levels over a little bit, see how they interact with what's going on today. But again, so we have like this lower level of liquidity right here, this trunk, which then we came up, rejected off of this, and then at the open last night, came down, just bounced right off of the top of that level. So I think that's kind of going to be the thing to look for entries, is where these areas of liquidity are, and then going from the liquidity and then targeting the 1 hour gaps that are up above. So it seems to be the call for these days, at least currently. God, this thing is a mess. And then again, we're bouncing right off of this gray box. So this gray kind of area is labeled consolidation right here. I marked this off once. We weren't even at the top of this level before we got there. How did I get there? Again, I marked it off based on this level of liquidity. We have this coming up right here, boop. Then again, we rejected off of this level, so I figured this right here was going to be a pretty strong area. So based on this chunk right here, I marked this as the 50% mark, and that's how I came up with the top level of this area, before any of this stuff even played out, which then again, based on this being 150% of the move and then another 50% of the move. Now we have this giant area of liquidity, which again we finally broke up, which that became the 50% mark on this move right here. So it all just keeps working fractally. Then again, came back up, retested the top of this, came back down. Now we're back at this 50% level, and it's kind of like, are we gonna push down and flush through this, or is this where we're gonna kind of reverse and start to pump for the rest of the day in the New York session? Or maybe not the rest of the day, but we could come up to this level right here. We have an hourly gap. Right now we're at the bottom. We're just below this hourly gap. So, and we're rejecting off of this. Well, we'll see. We might not be rejecting, but we're right off of this 50 MA, this green line right here. These MAs are starting to cross over, which typically means there's going to be a reversal coming, which this could be it. We could come back up before coming back down. I don't know, today I think might be a little bit tricky. So we're going to sit tight. If nothing catches our eye as far as a trade, then we will not be taking any trades. If it does, then cool. So let's go ahead and mark off some levels and clean this shit up a little bit. Let's go ahead and delete that. Let's delete that. Can leave that. Delete that. This one will kind of rearrange a little bit. And then we're going to leave this gray guy right here because that's a big area. And let's see, I think this is a 4-hour gap from fucking somewhere. There we go. Let's change this to 4 hours and we'll just do do. It's a long way to the top, baby, when I rock and roll. Let's mark this off right here. Let's do this actually. Alright, so we got another gap down here. So many gaps in this market right now. It's a long way to town, baby, when I rock and roll. And then we got this big ass this gap right here, boy. Which let's change the color of that. Yo, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. That looks nice. There we go. And there we go. Yo, it's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. Cool. Alright, now we're starting to pump a little bit. Get you a little bit of a bid, as they like to say. Alright, so where did we open? Down here, which we already came down, tapped this area of the open, and now we're kind of starting to go back up, so let's... I don't really feel like entering along right here based on this, however... Oh my god, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Let's see. This is still really messy, but whatever. getting down here. All of this, are we gonna break this structure? It's been a long way I mean, we could kind of break down, come retest this area, which would make sense because all this liquidity right here. Come back down to 25,703. And let's just wait. Oh, 25073 is what I meant, not 25703. What time is it? 15. We got one more 15-minute candle before the open. Or I guess this is the last 15-minute candle. A little bit of a 15-minute gap right here, slightly. Barely. But all gaps are valid, as they say. And let's do this. 15. Boot. And lock it. Yo, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, boy. Alright, well, this is. We'll give it some time, let the morning play out. See if the market wants to pick a direction. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be back. glad I didn't short that. Honestly, kind of don't even feel like trading today or right now. I'd rather just go work and make some money. But we'll give this a little bit, see what happens. Got the open in 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Let's see what the 15 looks like. So 15-minute, we're rejecting right off of the MA. So is this going to break through, or are we going to fall down and break through this support right here? Let's find out. 2 minutes. Don't feel the reaper. God damn it. What the fuck? All right, 20 seconds. Here we go. 13, 12, 11, 10. I reject off of this and come back down. Oh, I don't know. Oh, God, there we go. Oh, no. Alright, so buying off of this liquidity right here would have been a nice entry. Doesn't mean we don't come back down, reject off of VWAP. I really hate these all-time high kind of days. And actually, this might fucking rip.
We'll give it a couple minutes, but ultimately long bias and just looking to play the. Hopefully we can get an all-time high move over the weekend. That would be a nice trade.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, Mandy agrees. All-time highs in the Nasdaq would be 25,196 half. 196 half. With those a few hours ago. Last trade, only about 70 points beneath it. 25,126. Pop here in the Dow. We're chilling right now. Got house count long 5. Micro crude from $60.85, about 10 cents in the money. ES pushing to the upside as well. Got a Myron scheduled to speak, everyone's new favorite Fed speaker.
Oh my God.
Scheduled to speak in about 4 minutes. It's anyone's guess as well. You know where that might go. Again, no non-farm
Oh, well,
What
that's
would be
fucking really annoying.
leaking what the Chicago Fed estimated unemployment rate to be around 4.3%. I don't know what to make of it.
Was that a leak? I thought that it's usually. I saw that yesterday. I thought that was something they would just usually put out.
Oh, okay.
It's their
I don't know.
estimate, so they give a probability of like they basically do their own calculations based on the data. They don't have all the data, and then assign a probability distribution of where they think the number will be. So they thought unemployment, I believe, was going to be like 4.35% or something like that. But I knew that. Barring something strange happening, that's probably what it was going to be.
It's all new to me. I haven't seen district by district come out and just start rolling out their estimates. This is all new to me, so we're all in this together. This is fascinating. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. Push higher here in the ES trade. 67.79 made all-time highs overnight. 67.
Yeah, 180s are looking really tempting to aim for. Just how quick we're getting up to them right now. Just all this volatility. I feel like I don't usually give myself enough room. It might go without me up to 180.
Oh, this looks pretty good.
That's okay because I don't love the intense volatility for the first 15 minutes, but I'm intrigued if we can hit 180, and then I would look possibly for a pullback or rotation back down, maybe testing back down to like 114s again. But who knows? We can maybe get all-time highs today. That would be cool too.
See why not at this point. Braden, any prices of interest you got your eye on? Obviously, maybe say all-time highs made a couple hours ago. We're trading 25,140. I know you're leaning to the long side.
Yeah.
Kind of pull back.
The overnight low there is 77. I would love to see that hold. Considering yesterday I tried to catch long out of the open, and we gave the entire overnight trend to the upside. We gave it all back. So yeah, if we're gonna hold bullish, I would like to see that overnight low hold at least. Build some structure, and then if we can kind of consolidate 30, 40 points under the all-time highs, I'll definitely be intrigued to try to get into a long.
Just to answer a few questions in the chat really quick. What time is NFP? There is no NFP. The U.S. government is shut down.
Order filled.
Is watching Louis or something right now. They are not releasing NFP. We will have the other numbers that are on the calendar. S&P Composite PMI, and then at 9 we got ISM.
Boring.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Jack, so when we are not shut down, if we ever not shut down again, when will we get the non-farm payroll numbers? Do they sneak it in on a Tuesday, or
How do they do this? I have no freaking clue.
This is wild.
I have no idea.
With that being said, making all-time highs in the equities, no big deal. Looks like Dow shot out of a cannon. Looking at the 5-minute, closing in on session highs, 46,945. About 100 points in the first 5 minutes. Myron is scheduled to speak. Here we go. Myron hitting the wire. Love it. First comments. The Fed policy should be forward-looking. Bloomberg television.
There.
Myron coming out of the gates here. Keep you posted on that. If we do get anything more from Myron, as I'm sure we will. Jackson, your favorite Fed speaker, I do believe.
He's a poster.
Myron just lets it rip.
Problem with things being forward-looking, though, is that, as you may know from trading, the future is uncertain. So, sort of a barrier to that.
Well, the data is backwards looking. Here we go. I'm expecting significant disinflation to services inflation tied to population shift. That's a pretty one. I'm expecting significant disinflation to services inflation tied to population shift. Myron, that's a tongue twister, but I love you. Keep letting it rip. We're still holding mid here in the ES 67.78 last trade there. Myron, I'm expecting significant services disinflation via housing. Yeah, Myron, just come on. You can better than that. You got better than that.
Well, I hope he's right. We're a long way from disinflation, but we'll see.
Myron also doesn't think the neutral rate is 0. Keep an eye on those prices. I'll let these headlines, SS headlines along as we get them. Manny, scalper.
Yes.
So you have to play the momentum, Manny. Typically
Order filled.
Deregulation of the economy will expand the economy's potential. Number, what's that number? We have about 10 minutes, 7 minutes. We have a number that is U.S. S&P serves as PMI final. Very worried. That's where is the goods. AES wants to keep pushing this thing. Dow staying strong. For all you Dow lovers out there, shout out to Stephen R. All-time highs in Dow, 47,055. About 100 points away from that. And here goes the ES, not done pushing higher here.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if this thing's going to set a range in the first, 15, 20 minutes. Right now it's 120s and 150s. So we'll see. Or 120s to 160s.
This thing up.
This rat stuff.
ES. Jack, do you have my bond, Jack Bond 007? Do you have some bond numbers for me, Fed Watch? What's that 10-year yield looking like?
Well, I mean, we're kind of creeping down towards where we were when Powell spoke. Right now, we've been hanging around this 4.1 level.
Oh my god, I hate
Nothing
it.
too much doing
Let's
besides
go.
this sort of trend downward. We've seen the stocks up this time. Didn't get the yield spikes back where we had been not too long before. So we're in a pretty good spot right now. I'm not seeing anything too interesting. I would love to see how it reacts if we get back to where we were right when we announced the rate cuts.
Myra Moore from Myra here. Using backward-looking data is misguided.
Okay.
Order filled.
Just read the telegram here. Just read the telegram. We got DJ Sala looking on CNBC right now. Myra on Bloomberg. Being one of my Topstep TV. Here goes the ES. 4 points, 3 points now from all-time highs. We got buyers out of the gate.
Order filled.
67, 69. We're about 15 points higher here in the ES. Now pushing higher. Nasdaq lagging just a bit. We got this number in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the number before we get the party really started. Hitting the top of the chain. We got tops at daily levels. So update, refresh before every New York open. Click on that link if you want. Have a little real estate on the street for that. If not, I can do you one better. Indicators tab, top of Topstep X. On your screen, type in Topstep.
I should have held that, but
Correlate right.
yeah,
Charts.
base hits.
Also, upper left-hand corner of the Z screen. Hashtag fast markets or hashtag power hour. Sub the Topstep TV on the X. Let's see some trader wins. Let's see some swag.
All right, we got 19 minutes. We're breaking above this gap right here on the hourly. Is this gonna hold above here? If it does, if this, I mean, we got 20 minutes left on this still, but if this comes up and holds above this, then we should be good to go on the pump for the rest of the day, I think. That's a big if, so. And there we go. Look at that, just fucking selling right off. Glad I closed that out. $40.
Wait forever. But
These names look different. Ooh, sellers come in, sellers come in. They just hit a bid. I'm not seeing any headline. They absolutely smoked NASDAQ. Smoked the ES. NASDAQ not done complete rated. How about that?
Alright, well, like I said, I'm not really feeling like trading today. Made $43. That's fucking better than nothing. So I think I'm going to close it out. Get on with the weekend. Get some other work done. And we will be back at it Sunday night or Monday. Probably do some analysis over the weekend and maybe stream doing that. But alrighty. Fuck it, locking it out.